Yeah, we want to talk about, again, what are we doing, why are we here? And I think it is quite connected to what we call Gnosis 3.0. Yeah, a vision to work on large and important goals in a decentralized way. So in various teams that are independent of each other, but still cooperate, coordinate, and work and are kind of connected through shared ambitions and visions, but also economic incentives. So what we are working on is full stack decentralization, how we call it. And we think it is important, or what is really the thing about decentralization? We would say the two core ideas are ownership and agency, and I want to go through six points to demonstrate it. But just again, roughly, the idea of those various teams and various projects working together on shared goals here is represented in our this visualization. But what are really the six things that connect us and that also most of the talks and presentations here during the 3 days will be about? So if we talk about ownership and decentralization, the very first thing you need to own for everything to work is your account, your identity. And I recently had an interesting thought experiment, and I think I would invite everyone of you to think about it yourself. What is the oldest account you are owning, or you're using at least? So kind of think about maybe your bank account. I personally had a bank account. I got a first one when I was 14. I don't think I have access to this anymore. I kind of probably lost it along the time. And then I don't know, I had kind of in the very early days, there was in Germany a Facebook clone, and there I had an account that was quite important to me. But again, I lost it over the years. So what is an account that you can actually own yourself? And obviously, account abstraction and safe and kind of those are the things where we think that is really the basis, that you have an account that you actually own. Of course, here are the projects, and there will be a couple of talks during the next days. Also, account abstraction on Ethereum became more of a topic again, and on Thursday there's even SafeCon across the river. So second thing is, if you have this account that you own, in our view, ideally you should own it on a chain where you also have ownership of the chain. And we still think it's not just about kind of making it trustless potentially with layer 2s. We still think it's about ownership as well. So you should have ownership, and you should have at least the ability to have ownership of the things you're using. And of course, running your own node and being not only owning but operating a chain, we still think is a big desirable goal. So it's no news that we want to advance the cause of being a validator yourself and enabling that. And again, there will be talks and presentations in the coming days on that. So the third thing is, if we have ownership, and ownership is kind of represented in the form of tokens, there need to be efficient ways to exchange ownership, exchange tokens. And of course, that should be structured in a way where the user interest is put first. And again, there will be a couple of, there's at least a presentation for CowSwap, and kinetics are two here at DappCon. And number 4 is maybe one of the most ambitious ones, is Circles. And Circles is the project I personally am probably most passionate about, and it was kind of a project that brought me into the space. So over 10 years ago, I was fascinated as many who were early with Bitcoin, because that was what existed back then. But at some point I asked myself, would humanity really benefit if we would all kind of transition to Bitcoin? And that was is still not obvious to me whether that is the case. So, I mean, I would benefit, for sure. So currently, probably 1 or 2% of the humanity hold Bitcoin. So if the whole world would transition to it, well, those 2% would certainly benefit a lot. And Circles kind of tried, or still tries, to take some core ideas of Bitcoin, decentralization, no central authority, but have a system where I would give a clear yes to this question, would say yes, humanity would benefit from moving to it. So very roughly, the rules in Circles are that everyone who joins the system issues 1 unit per hour. So the issuance is, well, decentralized. And again, there will be a talk about Circles. I will do a talk on Circles on Thursday, so more to come. And you saw kind of here the transition of the logo. So again, a little bit more history. We launched it 3 years ago, and went viral for some time, but still tech was not working. Kind of it fizzled away, and now we are working on a larger relaunch, and that will also be a scheme here at DappCon. So a money system where that you own in a way. So the 5th scheme is we need to make all those things actually work in the real world. So it's not enough to have those ideas, and I mean, well, most of those ideas are not new. We have been in the space for many years now, and for the longest time, those ideas still were or are isolated. We have our bubble here, our blockchain bubble, but in many cases we still haven't done the leap to get it working in the quote-unquote real world. And that is certainly what, in this case, as an example, Gnosis Pay is about. And we are quite happy and proud that we were able to release this earlier this year. And again, there will be specifically tomorrow morning a couple of talks related to payments and specifically Gnosis Pay. So yes, we are finally at a point where I can use a regular card in the real world, and it is connected to all the things I mentioned before, to the identity I own, to the chain I have ownership in, to the soon the money system I own. So finally, or number 6 is privacy. And that is certainly one of the topics that is still, maybe least developed. Or I mean, the technology is there, but it's certainly not rolled out in any meaningful scale. So connected to Gnosis Pay, if you now do actually transactions of your daily life on chain, this obviously becomes an even more burning topic. What are the things you want to reveal, and can you choose what you reveal? And 3, or at least 2 projects that will do presentations are Gnosis VPN and Shutter. So Gnosis VPN, I think, explains itself what it is. Shutter is the idea that you can encrypt and have at least short-term privacy on the transactions you are sending. So those 6 topics are topics, well, that have been around for quite a while. And again, we believe working on those topics should make the world a better place. But there is certainly now a 7th topic that simply cannot be ignored. I think if you think about technology and how it impacts society, you absolutely need to be thinking about AI as well. And here I would say our kind of understanding or intuition where the journey should go is, at least for me, much less developed. So I think it will be extremely important, but I don't have the clear answer or vision what exactly we should be working towards too. So I mean, that is one attempt to say, I mean, clearly I don't want to say a few AI systems that are controlled by large entities kind of dominate the world essentially, and if users or people interact with them, then it's not taking the user interest first, but the company's interest. That's certainly not what we want. Certainly also don't want that, frankly, AI will be killing all of us, and I honestly think there's a decent probability of that, and here in the morning we will have a panel about exactly that question. So here on AI I have less clear opinions, but it's very clear we need to pay attention to it. And there are a bunch of projects here that are also presenting their work. Okay, so those are the 7 goals that I would say, almost everyone who is presenting and on this conference is in some form working towards or providing some part of it. So the last thing I want to show you is now a project we have been developing, and last DappCon I already mentioned it as Gnosis wallet, but today is the day where we want to give it to you to try, or kind of make an early release of it. And it is of course combining almost all the things I just mentioned. So it is meant to be a wallet that hopefully in the not too far distant future, I always say my mom can use, but still that adheres to all those principles. So an identity that you actually own, it will have the circuits integration. So you're very welcome to scan this QR code and try it out yourself. So few more things. One of the important things it uses is this semi-new concept called passkeys. A way to kind of to have keys that are much more native in your operating system. So long story short, a main differentiation factor will be that if you onboard, you don't have to write down a seed phrase or anything. You will just use passkey. It will create an identity for you that is then controlled by this passkey. And of course, it is nicely integrating to many of the other things we are building. All right, so looking forward to 3 days of DappCon and handing it over to the next speaker. Thank you.